Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the tier list live stream, our first one in a while. Welcome, welcome. Let's get the stream pulled up. Hopefully I'm on the right screen. Perfect. I was worried that this was going to show up on the chat panel, but it is not. Huge W to everyone that is about to pull up and everyone that is already here. We've got Super Tom, Mothra Gaming, Kakos, I hope I'm saying your name right. I really don't know how to say it, and we interact a ton in the Discord, and I have no idea how to say your name. Oh, look at that. It's interesting. Boop, boop, boop. Weird. Alright, cool. Whatever. Kakos, Forsaken, Evil, Shy Cat, Mothra Gamer, Super Tom, Evil, Nick, Arnav is here. Cypherzilla, shout out Cypherzilla, welcome back. GMK, A tier, you're gonna have to wait and see. Mason, what's going on? Neon Violet, hello. I saw Elle was in the chat earlier. I don't know if they're still here or not, but what's going on, everybody? Let's get it going. Alright. A little thirsty. Perfect taste of that water, that tap. We love it. Alright. We've had a pretty good season this go around. We've had a lot of good characters flowing in, flowing out of the meta recently. A few good decks that are kind of pretty dominant this go around, and there are a lot of pretty good characters to take a look at. Elzilla, what's going on? Goji fan, what's up? Melee, how do I change my icon on Marvel Snap Force? If you have other icons in Marvel Snap, then you just click on your profile picture and then you can change it from there. You don't play this game anymore. It's not fun. It's just fun to be here. Hopefully they make it fun again. Well, I hope you find something in it that you'll enjoy. And you don't even play the game and you still got the channel membership, so stub right there. We love to see the dedication to it. You're stoked with the GBL Toho stream on Sunday. You might set an alarm for the stream. After all, you are the king, Melee. Well, I am. Listen, I am king of the monsters for a reason, all right? Use your advice for getting 4-star expeditions, and I've gotten 2 4-star maps in one day. I told you, bro. You're welcome. You're welcome, bro. I would never steer you wrong. Fortnite Battle Pass. I just shit out my ass. Can I say that? As the stream has been going on for more than 30 seconds, I can say it. All right. Let's kick it off. We'll probably be here for like an hour. More. Maybe like an hour and a half, right? Depending on how long this goes. We have a lot of monsters to get through. All pretty much in alphabetical order until it gets to Zeton, because then it goes to Mephilas and Final Wars, Kiryu, Evangelion, Angel, MG21, and GMK. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, you already know what the fuck is up. Boom. Choppers. First round pick. Choppers D tier. Choppers are terrible. I feel like I should say, for a lot of people who don't really watch, I guess either watch the tier list or you're coming in for the first time now. I'm rating them based on how everything in the game is in the arena. I'm not really taking studio mode into this. I'm not really considering things as the leaders. Everything here is just units on the field, boots on the ground action. How I would rank it in the overall scheme of Godzilla battle line, and the choppers suck. The choppers are bad. Bad. I really don't feel like I have to go over them too much, but I will while I stall and I pull up the patch notes from this latest, from the update that we're in right now. The choppers are bad because they don't really do anything too special. They die really quickly. You can kind of set them up if you have a Mecha Godzilla leader, but odds are you're not using a Mecha Godzilla leader. And it's kind of expensive for what it does. It's not really worth it. I like the choppers in All-Star Battle a lot. They are super helpful, but in the arena, they are a little bit more of a hindrance than anything else. single group of choppers when. I've been saying for a long time, we need a unit that's like fighter jets. And you can have like fighter jets come in and like, instead of a train that's like going from side to side, you could do fighter jets that go like top to bottom. And they just like come down the whole map in like one lane. Could be fun. Chopper should be like 2 cost. I agree. The chopper, if they're not going to change anything in the choppers, you gotta at least just make it really cheap. That's it. Choppers are bad because they're bad in the movies as well. This is true. This is true. If it's bad in the movies, they tend to try to make things lore accurate in this game for some reason. And lore accurate military vehicles in a Godzilla game, yeah, these are going to be ass. So, they're done. Anguirus. I bet you guys never see this one coming. Anguirus is an A tier unit, a top of A pick. Man, I really like Anguirus. He's been through a lot in this game. He went from being one of the premier meta units in Season 1 to virtually unusable in later seasons. And then, what was it, like last April or May or something like that, they threw Anguirus a bone and they increased his HP and they decreased his cost, and it totally changed the game for Anguirus, man. Anguirus is good. 4 cost tank at like level 30 is like 4,000 some odd health. Really great amount of health for 4 cost. He's powerful. This is like an easy slot. Most meta decks will end up at some point or another trying Anguirus in their deck. And if you're not using a main, like a specific deck, like Bomb Squad is a very specific layout. If you're using like a 5-cost flyer deck, Anguirus can fit in a 5-cost flyer deck, or 5-cost flyer deck, just how he is. It makes you expecting everything to be exactly the same as last time. I honestly don't think everything is going to be exactly the same as last time. With the introduction of GMK, the meta has kind of shifted a little bit, and things are a little bit different. The C and the D tiers, I think, are going to end up being relatively the same, but I think I'm going to be a lot more liberal with what I put in the B tier, hopefully. I kind of want to wean down the A tier a little bit. Hope you're having a good night, dude. Also been playing Marvel Snap because of me. Oh, shout out. Look, we got a lot of people in the chat already saying that they were playing Marvel Snap tonight too, so shout out. Let me know if you see me in the arena. I've fought some people that are in the Discord in Marvel Snap already, just randomly in the live game, not even playing. So let me know if you see me. My username and that is Sir Melee as well. All right, Batra. This is like a no-brainer, you guys. S tier. I mean, come on. Of course, Batra is gonna be S tier. Batra. I think a lot of people, this month in particular, are trying to say that Batra is not S plus or S tier because of GMK. But GMK just existing does not make Batra worse. Batra is a very strong unit, is a very viable unit, and if your opponent isn't running GMK, Batra is still just as good as he always has been. GMK will remove the Batra boost. Batra cannot keep reapplying the boost like Space Godzilla, but Batra is extremely powerful, has good health, good damage, and that boost, you know, if your opponent's GMK dies near your leader and you drop that Batra boost after the GMK dies, you replace that damage decrease with the increase, right? So Batra can be used in very effective ways this season, whether or not GMK is still in play. Good players will be able to, you know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Batra is still an S plus pick, even with GMK in the meta this go around. And then by extension of him, I'm putting Batra Larva in A. Not really too much to say about Batra Larva, except he's going to be the bottom of A like he normally is. He's good. I mean, he does everything that Batra needs to do, except he flies, or he doesn't fly, and he's easy to evolve. So I tend to just always put the pre-evolutions in the lower ranks. Nothing really too much to say about Batra Larva. You only watch the Marvel movies. Should you play Marvel Snap? Yeah, you don't need any prior knowledge of Marvel at all. to know about Marvel Snap, the only benefit you gain from like reading the comic books and playing Marvel Snap is sometimes you'll notice synergies between characters of a similar archetype. Like, for example, in Marvel Snap, all of the Wakandans do something to increase power, except for M'Baku. Like Black Panther, when you play him, he doubles his own power. Shuri, when you play her, she'll double the next card's power. Okoye gives all the cards in your deck +1, and Nakia will give the two leftmost cards in your hand +1 or +2. All the Atlantean cards, Namor, Atuma, and Orca, all are like, if you play them in a lane by themselves, they get like massive power, but as soon as you play another card in that lane, they like lose power, or in Atuma's case, die. So you could see like some synergies and stuff if you read the books, but you really don't need to read the books to understand the game at all. It's a card game. So as long as you just learn what the cards do and the abilities, you'll be fine. I'm just going back through chat real quick. You've been seeing more and more Jet Jaguar single point lately, combined with GMK and Terrestrials. Yeah, I've seen that a lot too. Herbert, you also play Marvel Snap. Well, shout out. Nick, you can sense Mechagodzilla 974 next season. The tease in the Twitter says so. I'm giving the possibility of him being revealed at 85%. Just got to give some caution as they can do surprises. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like next season we're definitely due for a collab in Battle Line, but we know Mechagodzilla is coming, and they're teasing they're not teasing a mecha. They're just like, it happens to work out that way where they're like, oh, hey, remember when we revealed Kiryu Kai? Well, you know, check back on stream, and then they show Mechagodzilla. Like, remember when we added this Mechagodzilla? So it could be hinting at Mechagodzilla. I would be shocked if Mechagodzilla 74 was next season and then broke the cycle of the collabs. I think it's going to be Kamen Rider or Evangelion. I think it's like a 70-20 and then a 10 split. It's like 70% chance it's probably going to be like Evangelion, like an announcement of Kamen Rider stuff. Then the 20% it's Kamen Rider. I mean, we don't know. It could be anything. It could be Kamen Rider, it could be Evangelion, it could be Mechagodzilla. We don't know. But we'll see soon. We'll see literally in like 2 days. Less. What unit in the game do you think is the most wasted potential? Giant Octopus. 100%. 100% Giant Octopus. You kidding me? You kidding me? Alright. Where were we? Biolante? I know it's a Godzilla vid, but for a quick snap question, do they rerun stuff often, kicking yourself for missing the special Jubilee? In my Snap experience from the 4 or 5 months I've been playing Snap, they've never recycled an offer in. That's not saying that they eventually won't. They just haven't yet. So I don't know. I'm kicking myself too that I didn't buy the Devil Dinosaur bundle from last season, where he looked really, really cool. With the guy that does the Alex Horner or whatever his name is, he does a bunch of Magic the Gathering art. He did a Devil Dinosaur card, and it looked awesome, and I didn't pick it up. Biolante, the flower form of Biolante, I am going to move. I mean, the flower form is decent. It's not terrible. I think the flower form is going to be in B, but like the bottom of B. I really like the flower form a lot. It's easy to evolve. And honestly, in water, it does a lot of really good damage, but you're not really seeing, like, I mean, you don't really see it too much in the game because it evolves so easily, right? It would probably be C tier, but it's still good. It's still like a good card or good thing to use, right? So Biolante flower form B, but Biolante, I was all gonna say perfect form. The plant beast form is easy A, for sure. She's been nerfed a few times. She's still really, really good. The only thing that's going to drop her in this season is GMK. She's not going to place as high this season as she would in previous seasons because of GMK. What do you say, Mason? Maybe you should play audio of the presidents and former president playing GBL. I didn't even know they knew about this game. I have to make audio of them playing. I have the AI that can do it. I got to make audio of them playing it. Biolante is good. She's really, really good. If your opponent isn't running GMK, Biollante is a cracked unit. If your opponent is running GMK and they can remove that damage boost, that the 80% damage boost is what really is making Biollante king or queen. If she doesn't have her damage boost, Jet Jaguar Singular Point actually has higher DPS per hit. There's higher DPS in general. If the Biollante comes up on my lead on London and I drop GMK and I remove her buff, she's getting killed instantly. So she is A tier. She's just not going to place as high this season as she maybe would have if GMK wasn't the featured unit. We'll have to see what happens next month, but I have a feeling next month when not everyone is running GMK, Biollante is going to move back up. For now, she's probably going to be placed on the lower end of A. You already made it. It's in GBO memes. I didn't make a thing of them playing Battle Line, but I made a president audio of them talking about it, actually. I made them talking about it like a copy pasta, but I didn't make it. I want to make an audio of the presidents actually talking about Battle Line. So here, let me play it for you. If you can hear it.
Bitch, I'm smoking on that mystery expedition Zaza.
Can you hear it?
This Monster Island pack is so strong, Toho won't buff it for years. That green Biollante zillion moongrass.
Is it not loud enough? Alright, whatever. Oh, it's opening up on all kinds of
Bitch,
things.
I'm smoking on that mystery expedition Zaza.
It's in the Discord. It's in the meme section of the Discord. Oh, you could hear it really well? Let me pause the music, because I can't hear it. I don't know if you guys could hear it.
Bitch, I'm smoking on that mystery expedition Zaza. This Monster Island pack is so strong, Toho won't buff it for years. That green Biollante zillion moongrass. Ultraman not even immune to this level of couch lock. Your fucking G89 is so weak a punch from him wouldn't even wake Sleepy Joe. I'm out here chiefing on that Hedora gas OD, and your goofy ass couldn't even get enough event points for a fucking poster.
So if you want to listen to it and it's not super low, it's in the Discord. I didn't realize it was going to come that low over my computer, but it's in the Discord, in the memes channel if you want to listen to it. Bro, why are you using Trampless DT? That's cringe. Stealth Bomber D easy. Last season, I had Stealth Bomber in C because I was kind of gassed off of the buff. But after this, it's going back into D. I'm sorry. And you're here again, Melee. I'll get to ask how at B lane we are trying to make it through this tier list without getting distracted. I am just like having my like ADD challenge, constantly reading the chat and pulling up the Zaza memes. But we're good. Maybe if you weren't so sleepy, you would know that Trains and DT is meta. Joe, I gotta make a good one of them playing it and audio, and then someone can make it into a video. But the AI thing is so funny. It is so funny. But Stealth Bomber's getting D tier. I put him in C tier at the bottom of C tier last month because I was kind of gassed off of the buff that it got. But realistically, bias aside of like the fun buff that it had, it's really not good. None of the characters that go straight for the enemy leader are good. You can make an argument for Gigan that he is good when paired with other units, but that is not indicative of him as a unit. You're just using him to push characters, and at that point, you could just make him your leader and use his ability, right? But we'll talk about Gigan when we get there, but I think he's also pretty terrible. Stealth Bomber is D. It's definitely way better than it was, but anything that just runs up straight to the leader without a significant advantage of some kind is going to get absolutely worked. Absolutely worked. All right, so unless they make the Stealth Bomber invisible and it can reach the leader without getting hit by anything else, you're chilling. But because the Stealth Bomber is not actually stealth, it's just going to get absolutely worked. Burning Godzilla. Burning Godzilla is cooking. Burning Godzilla is in the kitchen this season, whipping it up. He's cooking. Easy S tier. It took Toho months of cooking to come up with good buffs for him. I think from the beginning they should have just made it so his explosion took less time. They didn't want to listen, and instead they took months and months and months to give him a health buff here, an explosion increase here, damage here, health here, more damage here. And eventually they got to a point where he's really good now. He has had such a glow up. Burning Godzilla went from a unit that was like extremely undesirable to being a top unit, a top performer in the meta. There's literally now a whole archetype, a whole meta archetype built around exploding, because his explosion is so good, paired with a few others that are really good. The explosion archetype is strong, and he is leading the charge for sure. He's been in the game for a long time. Long-time players, even long-time free-to-play players, have him at really high levels and extremely usable levels. You know, you're going to rant about Jet Jaguar for 5 minutes and place him in D again? Probably. It always happens. Burning has one of, if not the biggest glow-ups ever. There have been some really great glow-ups in Battleline, and Burning is easily a top 5 glow-up, for sure. They really fixed him up. They really, really did fix him up. I could probably use some stuff from the Discord to make a script. Oh, I could just whip up a script. I'm thinking of one where it's like with Trump and Biden, and be like, oh, hey, like, I'm going in the Discord, I'm doing my placements, I only need one more match for rank 66, and then he matched it with Joe. He's like, oh, great, it's this guy. It's like, shut up. It's like, Joe, if you keep using trains on my leader, I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna hit, like, you know, I let me cook on it, and I think I can come up with some good audio for you. I have to just get a sync up for Biden. I have Trump and I have Joe Rogan. I was using my brother's account and he had the Biden AI, and I have to go and find audio for Biden on my own account now. But I'll cook. All right, Des Ghidorah. Des Ghidorah is a recipient of Season 21 buffs. Des Ghidorah got an increase to HP. Now, I don't know where Spence is. If he's in the chat, I don't know what. But Des Ghidorah is performing pretty well. Not extremely well, but okay. I'm putting him under Biollante. Des Ghidorah is a good unit. A is very solid. This is very good for a King Ghidorah. You know, this is as good as they come, because out of the 3 in the game, he's by the numbers, the better of the 3. It just depends on how you want to use them. If you want to use the spread with Mecha King Ghidorah, or you want to use the piercing with Des Ghidorah, it's entirely up to you. There's a lot of really good strategies you can use with Des Ghidorah. He's extremely good. He's kind of a technical unit. It's kind of difficult to use him sometimes. Only a few, you know, players that I've seen are really using Des Ghidorah efficiently, not just placing him wherever. You can take advantage of his stun. It's really not that bad. The burning that he gives off is not amazing, but extra damage is damage, right? So it's not great, but it's there at least. The stun is really good, though. The stun is normally what you're using him on defense for. The piercing is really good. His speed is good. His range is good. He just have to get a little close. His targeting is a little wonky, but he's good. He's not broken. He's good. He's good. He's not like crazy. All right. We got the Destroyers. We got all the Destroyers. They are getting a buff next season. These two are getting HP increase. This one is getting a damage increase. This Destroyer is in the C tier because it is built to evolve. It's a 3 cost. It's very cheap. It has been getting several buffs throughout the last few months. This version of it, this first form is getting a C tier. It just exists to evolve. It's really not helping you in another way. This one, the flying form of Destroyer, is going to go to the B tier. Also been receiving tons of buffs. Low B, it's a 5-cost flyer. So if it evolves and dies, you have to place a 5-cost flyer Destroyer. And in terms of the other 5-cost flyers in the game, this doesn't even compete on the same level as them, right? It's just absolutely going to get worked. It pretty much also exists to evolve. It's nowhere near as strong as any of the other 5-cost flyers. Not even Mega Gearus. I'm not even putting it up with Mega Gearus. It's not terrible, but when we're comparing it to everything else that costs 5, it is not in any means the best. Now, the perfect form Destroyer actually is not bad, and I've been saying this for a long time, that perfect form Destroyer is not a terrible unit. Perfect form Destroyer is really solid. He's just lacking stats. He's getting a damage boost next season. I could see, depending on how the boosts go. Oh, what's up, Kuro, Kuroya, Kuroya, Kuro. I can't even say this name. Kuroya. What's up, Kuroya? That should be just perfect form. I agree. I think that Destroy should have just been the perfect form. I really didn't want it to be a triple evolution, and I knew as soon as Shin Godzilla was a triple evolution, I knew Destroyer would be too. It sucks, but it is what it is. I think Destroy Perfect Form is a pretty good unit all in all. The damage just wasn't there, and 7 costs really aren't being used right now. You're really floating around 4, 5, and 6 cost characters in the meta. 7 is just a little too high. It's just too out of reach. The stats just need to be better on him, and I think he could be an easy A tier for sure. Destroy is one of my favorite characters of all time. I love it. I love it. I love it. We'll see if he gets better next month. Who knows? Not me. This larva I'm putting in the C tier. I'm putting this larva, I usually put it ahead of the aggregate form. I really like this Destroyer larva. It's basically anti-air Kamakura Swarm, but I think you get 1 less larva than you do the Kamakura Swarm. Really good on defense, really bad in the mid-range and up against the enemy leaders, because a lot of the enemy leaders will have AoE and just knock them in one hit and just kill all of them. And in the mid-range, they don't really have, you know, a lot of attack range, so when they're in the middle of the field, they're going to get picked off by things with longer range, like Ultraman, Ultima, Super X, anything that flies. So they're really good on defense, and especially against single target attackers like Godzilla Ultima gets absolutely worked by the Destroyer Larva, or Mega Gearus, or Mothra Leo, or Batra, or Fyrodan. But they're really only good on defense, and for 5 costs, they're not really seeing a lot of play in a lot of decks. They did get an increase to their attack this season as well, so they also received a buff alongside Desghidorah. Arnev says, you remember when they were meta? Yeah, Destroy Larva was meta season 1, for sure. For sure. Melee, when will we get a new ASB tier list? S tier swarms. I should do another All-Star Battle tier list eventually. That's actually a good idea. I was thinking about it. They should be either a 3 or 4 cost, and I think they would see a lot more play. They might not be super usable, but a cost reduction would at least bring them into the B tier, I think. But they're pretty good in the C tier. They're just not like the best. Dimension Tide. Dimension Tide is an S tier. I used to be the biggest Dimension Tide hater, mostly because I was getting annoyed when people were using it on me, and that's understandable. Damn, Dimension Tide is sick. Dimension Tide is solid. It is very, very good. You guys are saying S+. I don't know if it's S+ tier, because you don't need it in every deck, right? Dimension Tide, it works really... Dimension Tide is S+ when you pair it with certain cards, but it is not S+ on its own, but it's definitely high S. It's not lower than this. The Dimension Tide, being able to manipulate board placement is huge. Anyone that's been playing Marvel Snap knows if you're getting arrowed or magnetoed or someone's moving your cards all over the board, it's incredibly disruptive to your strategy. So having that Dimension Tide in your favor and being able to pull things into Burning Godzilla, the Fourth Angel, GMK, Biollante, Hedorah, anything with an AoE, really, really big. This is a huge utility card. It's probably the best effect in the game at the moment. The only one that even comes close is Psychic Chorus, but Psychic Chorus has received a ton of nerfs over the last few months. It's still a good card, but I think overall for utility, especially in the current meta, not that this was going to be any lower than this, and this was also in the S tier last season. But with one of the current meta decks being exploding decks and massive AoE decks, the Dimension Tide is the perfect fit in a deck like that. Easy S tier, S+ tier when you pair it with like Burning Godzilla or a Fourth Angel in the same deck. Like you or somebody else said before, it's like, I'm going to move you over here. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, Dimension Tide with GMK broken, exactly. Even teams with no AoE use Dimension Tide. Even teams with no AoE can use Dimension Tide, but it's not nearly as effective. You could do like Dimension Tide into Godzilla Earth, but that's still piercing. Dimension Tide into Desghidorah is piercing, but no one's Dimension Tiding into like G89. No one's Dimension Tiding into Jet Jaguar, right? You're Dimension Tiding into things that explode. Hey, since I'm a member and paid you, do me a solid. Rate Kiryu early for you. Do you want me to rate Kiryu Kai for you? Or do you want me to rate... Do you want me to rate both? Or you want me to rate just the one lane? I'll do you a solid. You always show up. You're always very nice. And a member. I'll do this one solid. You want both Kiryu? Or you want the one Kiryu? You can if you want to do both. Alright. Special member request. Lane just wants regular Kiryu ranked. So we'll do a solid. We'll have a little funsies. We'll do a solid. Where is he? Kiryu here. I like Kiryu a lot. I think Kiryu is an extremely valuable unit. Kiryu is, I think, God, I don't know. I want to put him ahead of Biollante this season. And Kiryu Kai will go over there with him too. Kiryu is solid. I love the ability to just drop Kiryu anywhere on the map. There's not a lot of characters that let you just drop them wherever. You have Mogera, the 2 Kiryus, and I mean, I guess kids, but it's an effect. Being able to drop him in the corners or to clear out swarms is really good. Kiryu this season is really not... Now I have to think about what I want Melee to do. No, I'm not listening to Mason. I'm only listening to Lane. Kiryu is good. I honestly prefer regular Kiryu over Kiryu Kai, specifically for Kiryu always having AoE, even if it's minor, and Kiryu Kai only has it when he's in close range. Kiryu is way versatile. He's an extremely good unit. Last season, he was in my deck. I only took him out of my deck this season for GMK. Right? So that's got to tell you how good he is. GMK is just absolutely... Or not GMK. Kiryu, place him anywhere. I mean, I don't even know what to say about him. Because he's good. You can place him anywhere. He has AoE. The missiles come down before him, and that's an AoE. And then his basic attack is an AoE as well. He can help you snipe leaders. He can help you snipe Subarexes. In a meta full of exploding characters, if they don't have Dimension Tide, you can place Kiryu out of range of the 4th Angel. He'll take the 4th Angel down. He can do it kind of for burning, but he can get a little too close for comfort. And then with GMK probably hit him, but Kiryu is really solid. Kiryu Kai is probably not higher up on the list than him. He's just a really solid unit. There's not much that I can say about him that hasn't already been said 1,000 times. Trainer Chris, an interesting question. Have you ever done an All-Star Battle tier list? Some units I feel are just better for All-Star Battle, like Gaigan. Yeah, I have done All-Star Battle tier lists before. I haven't done one in a long time. Just because I guess I've been forgetting about it. But if it's something that you guys want, I can do it. I'll do another one. We also have a lot of characters, so I'll just go through them. But I like it. Kyukai S because his sniper range and the boosted damage. Kyukai's good. Kyukai's not S. Definitely not S. The Dorats are S+, baby. No. The Dorats are somewhere in the B tier. I believe they're somewhere in the mid to lower end of the B tier. They're all right. The Dorats are just like Kamacuras, except they cost 1 more, they're harder to level, and they fly. The Kamacuras are the gold standard for body blocking. They're the gold standard because if your opponent Gaigan rushes a G89 at you and you drop the Kamacuras, you end that G89. If they drop a King Caesar, you stop the Caesar. Dorats are not going to stop these ground units that are rushing at you, but the Kamacuras will. The Kamacuras will halt the 4th Angel. They'll halt G89, Caesar. I'm trying to think of other ground units. Anguirus, the Jet Jaguars. If they're rushing Jet Jaguars at you, they'll stop them. The Dorats will not. They're good. The Dorats, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that the Dorats are bad. Because the Dorats see a lot of play in the lower tiers of GBL, and even in some of the higher end levels of play with some of the whales, they're using Dorats in their deck to kind of disrupt the flying meta, because the people don't really expect the Dorats. But normally, I really wouldn't say they need... I don't know. I'm not going to say that they're bad units. They definitely need something to make them as viable as Kamacuras, and maybe it's just a cost reduction. Maybe if they were the same price as the Kamacuras, they would be goated. But until then, they're just like the dollar store version of the Kamacuras, right? They can do they do basically everything the Kamacuras can do except for stopping ground units, and they cost 1 more. So why would you do that when you could just run the Kamacuras instead? Lowering their cost would bring them, I think, into the A tier for sure. Zorets plus Kama Swarm plus Space Godzilla Troll. Alright. Energy base. I don't really like the energy base. I don't think it's necessary to win matches. I think if you play the energy base and your opponent can't counter it, you're at a significant advantage. That does not mean you're guaranteed the win, though. You have to be smart. And if your player has Dimension Tide or the Train Bombs, which are getting a buff next season, the Train Bombs are getting a buff next season, the facilities don't really get run. ERB will get run. A lot of people run ERB if they're using a deck that's a little too expensive for the meta. They're using it in girth decks mostly. If people are running a deck full of Godzillas, they'll usually run that. If they're trying to be greedy with like Shin Godzilla and GO4 and GMK, they'll try to use it. You can gain a lot of energy from it. You gain about 8 energy total throughout the life of the ERB, providing that your opponent doesn't hit it and harm it in some way. If I hit it with a Dimension Tide and it doesn't kill it, you're still going to generate energy, but you're not going to generate as much energy as you would have been able to if it was at full health. And if I hit it with the trains, which, like I said, are getting buffed next season, it's just going to go down immediately. And you spend 4 or 5 to drop the energy base, and then I've spent 3 to hit it with the train, so I'm up in energy, and you're down in energy. So ERB, good, not necessary for wins. If you win with it, like ERB to me is a win harder unit, right? ERB is not locking in the wins. ERB is making sure like if you're already winning, ERB is going to help you win more, but if you're not going to win that fight anyway, ERB is not going to really do anything for you. And it's just going to get rocked by the fucking trains anyway. All right. Rodans. Both of them. Good. This Rodan, C. Speed boost. Good on this Rodan. This Rodan, very good speed boost. Not great attack. Not great range. Kind of wonky tracking on what units it's fighting. Cool. Doesn't matter. Its main purpose, it literally sees the game for like 3 seconds. It shows up, gives a speed boost, and dies. Fire Rodan S tier. This is a phenomenal character. It is a tried and true meta staple for months since last May when it got buffed. Okay? Even before it got buffed, its heal was still ridiculous. The heal has never changed. It's just the means that, to get on the field changed. Fire Rodan has all of the same... everything that I would say about the previous Rodan, 93, I'll say about Fire Rodan with the kind of wonky tracking and all this stuff. It is a little bit longer range. It has the radium beam, uranium beam, or whatever it's called. The main reason you're using it is for the speed buff and the heal. Specifically the heal. The speed buff is just like a nice to have. The heal that this guy drops can save your leader, can save a push. It's great. It's really versatile. If you don't want to run Psychic Chorus in your deck, run Fire Rodan. He's a little bit more expensive. Pretty reliable. A lot of people make the mistake of just playing Fire Rodan by himself and like letting him go to the enemy leader and attack or like do fights one-on-one. Guys, please stop using Fire Rodan by himself. You need to play something like Batra and then Fire Rodan, then Batra so they get the mutual buff. Or like King Ghidorah and Fire Rodan and Geras and Fire Rodan. You want something with him because if he's just 1v1ing something and he dies... And what is he healing? Nothing. But if he dies with a teammate, he's going to make sure your teammate is his teammate is alive longer. So, Fire Rodan is extremely good. Love him a lot, and especially this season, super valuable because GMK has a really solid AOE. It's kind of like Hedera's AOE with the same amount of range. A lot of players are dropping Fire Rodan on their leader, letting him get killed by the GMK AOE, and then healing up their leader and killing the GMK. That's a really solid strategy. That was what was happening when Hedera and Mecha King Ghidorah were really big in the meta, and it's happening again now with GMK in the meta, okay? So, Fire Rodan, good. End of story right there. The Sonde. I I'm putting Sunday in the C tier this season. I don't think Sunday is B anymore. I think Sunday is all right. Sunday had a lot of utility prior to. I guess it's not really a nerf to the stun ability, but there was a bug that made it so you could. There's a bug that made it so you could basically stun a unit for an extended period of time. I have a whole video talking about it. But Sunday was really good for that. It was one of the main pieces you would use to get this like infinite stun to work. Now infinite stun doesn't work. Yes, Sunday is 2. Yes, you can deploy it everywhere. But you could use a better stunning unit like Naranga or Gaigan 04 or Manila even after Manila's nerfs. Manila is still pretty good. Sunday, Xfinity says Sunday is good for snipers. Yeah, Sunday can be helpful with snipers like Ultima or Super X. The sniper deck isn't meta anymore, right? It's starting to kind of make a resurgence. I think we're one really good either tank or sniper unit away from it coming back because it's a really good counter to the exploding decks. But it's not like a top tier meta pick. Maybe it's in the top 4 decks as a sniper deck, and it's like a sleeper sniper deck because not a lot of people are using them. But even still in a sniper deck, I would much rather run Manila over Sunday, right? Manila and something else to keep the freeze away. You don't need... Sunday works well in a sniper deck, but you don't need Sunday in a sniper deck. You know what I'm saying? Giant Octopus. My God. I put Giant Octopus in C tier. Normally. Because I think it's cope. I don't want to put Giant Octopus in the... I don't want to put Giant Octopus in the D tier. Specifically because he costs 2, which is good. But the slow on Giant Octopus when he's in water is ridiculous. It is the longest slow in the game. As long as he's in water, he can keep a unit slowed forever. Especially if he's not being targeted. First of all, there's no real deck you're running Giant Octopus in, right? Unless just you're some like meme deck. You're not running Giant Octopus. My Giant Octopus is level 32. His slow is like 13 seconds in water because he gets a huge boost to his slow when he's in the water. If a unit is attacking like my GMK or my Burning and it's not attacking the Octopus and the Octopus is hitting that enemy unit, first of all, the slow is not going to retarget aggro the same way Gaigan does or Manila does or Naranga does. And if he's in the water, that slow is forever. As long as Octopus is hitting units, that slow is forever. I'll put him on the bottom of C. Just he's only not in D because he unironically is one of the best units strictly from a defensive perspective. Melee, you know that I could make a deepfake of you? You should make a deepfake of me. You should. Go ahead, do it. I made deepfakes of Biden today. Make one of me. You can use all the audio from all my streams, make an AI of me talking to like Joe Rogan or like Markiplier or Benchpeer or something like that. Do a meme. Do a meme. Octopus, yeah, Octopus is like a D+. He's not in D because I love him, and on defense he's actually a really solid unit. It's just there's not really any decks that you fit him in, and Super Godzilla Gaming, exactly, his tankiness shouldn't be underestimated. He is a really strong unit. He's just like, he's so slow, he's never going to go anywhere. He's strictly a defensive unit, and on London, he's gas. But like everywhere else, he's not that great. I like him in All-Star Battle a lot, though, on defense. My Giant Octopus in All-Star Battle has saved my life several times. Gaigan 04. I love Gaigan 04. Gaigan 04 has done exactly what I said he would do when he dropped months ago. everybody was sleeping on this fucking guy, on Chainsaw Man over here. They're saying, oh, his health is low. His DPS is good, but his health is low. He'll never see play. He'll never be meta. He is awesome. Gigan 04 is awesome. A great unit. He's definitely at the top of A for me. Man, that stun, if you can really master that stun, is great. I've been using Ultima Leader now for the whole season pretty much. Not the whole season. But when I completed my 500 wins with Evangelion Leader, then I switched to GMK, or Ultima Leader. Ultima Leader has great range. Pair it with Gigan. Gigan can stun the units a little bit ways away from Ultima, so while they're stunned, Ultima can get hits in. Gigan's taking aggro, Ultima can get some hits in. He's really great on defense. He's really great on offense. Especially, he can't hit the air units, but that doesn't matter because he's going to grab units like GMK and stop them from attacking. The Fourth Angel, stop him from attacking, right? He's going to get hit by the explosions, of course, but the main attacks are also really powerful. He's going to stop that. He's going to stop Biollante from attacking. He's going to stop Kiryu, and when he uses his chains, he takes the aggro. So say GMK, say you have Burning Godzilla and GMK coming up this way, and your enemy has a GMK coming from the top like this, and he'll attack them right here. You place Gigan on this side, he's going to hook the GMK, take aggro, do damage. The GMK is going to turn and attack the Gigan, and your Burning and your GMK are going to look at the other enemy, and they're going to start attacking him. Gigan 04, it doesn't matter that he dies super quickly. He's stunning a unit, an enemy, and making them temporarily vulnerable to pretty much everything. He's getting a lot of really good hits in. His attack speed is like, what, 1.2, 1.4 seconds? He's an extremely fast attack. He puts out a lot of damage in that time, and he takes the aggro. Taking aggro, to me, is huge, especially in a deck like the Bomb Squad, which is susceptible to snipers. Guess what? Gigan 04 can retarget Ultima. He can retarget Manila. He can stop a Naranga from attacking your... Naranga will stun lock GMK for sure. Gigan 04 will stop the Naranga. It's great. Gigan 04 is so good. And he has AoE. Thank you, Evil. He has AoE too when he uses his hands. If he's close enough, he'll hit the Kamakura swarms and stuff. It's not a huge AoE. It's a little one. Gigan 04 is an extremely versatile unit. He can fit in a ton of decks, and he's 4 cost. This is a character I would have thought that they would make 5 or 6. I hope they never do. At 4 cost, Gigan 04, I think is a must-have in most decks. No cap. I love him. Conversely, this Gigan sucks. I watched TS Dragon's tier list. TS Dragon, you're great. I love you. Love your tier list. You're a very smart guy. What the hell are you cooking up with Gigan in the B tier or wherever you had him, bro? I understand that Gigan has been buffed recently, and he is better than he was. I understand that you can now use Gigan to push units like Burning Godzilla, the Fourth Angel, G89. You can use Gigan to push characters. You can use any leader with a speed boost to do it too. Biollante leader, Gigan leader, Jet Jaguar leader, Fire Rodan leader. Like, come on. What are we doing here? Gigan 04 is S+ tier in All-Star Battle. Period. End of story. Because the crystal can't fight back in All-Star Battle. The crystals that you fight do not fight him back. That is why he is S+ tier. In the arena, he's going to run through the battlefield and get shot up by everything on the field that can hit him. And then when he gets to the leader with half health or whatever it is, the leader is going to rinse him. Not to mention the Kamakuras for 2 are going to rinse him. For 5 cost in the arena, there are significantly better 5 cost options that are going to help you move through the field. Gigan is fine. Gigan is not good. Gigan can be good when paired with certain units like the Fourth Angel, Giant Octopus even, and Gears, units that are slow, and he can push them to where they need to go. But then I would say if you're that desperate to push your units where they need to go, there's no reason to spend 5 energy on Gigan to do it when you can pick him as a leader and do it for 2. That's my TED Talk on Gigan. Not great. on the battlefield. Not great. Any character that goes straight for the leader is not good. But I will say, Gigan has one of my favorite models in the game. I like it a lot. Oh, Lord, this guy. G21. I always get butchered for my takes on G21 because there's a lot of G21 fanboys. He returned to the game last season. He is obtainable now. G21 is a... He's somewhere around here. I think he's somewhere around here. I think in my heart of hearts, Destroyer is a little bit better. G21 is extremely powerful. I see a lot of people asking for him in C tier. I really don't think he's in the C tier. I think he is a little low though. He's about middle B. I don't think he's C. He's good. He's counterable though. He's extremely counterable. When he works well, he works really well. I don't know if I want to put him in the C tier though. I think I'm going to keep him in the low B. But I'm not going to make him C. He's not C level bad. Especially now that we can get points for him. And he actually also just had a buff, if I'm not mistaken. He was buffed when he was reintroduced. Him and Kong were both introduced. The problem with G21 was that everyone targets him because of his power. Yeah, but that's not a problem with his kit. That's players being smart. The fact that when you see G21 on the field, you're immediately scrambling to deal with it speaks volumes about his kit. Does it not? You're not... A unit in the C tier is not an immediate threat when you see him on the battlefield. G21 is a major threat. When you see him, your first instinct is he's gotta go. Okay? He has to go. G21 needs to go as soon as he's on the field. Alright? January's balance adjustments. I'm still scrolling through the balance adjustments to see exactly what changed with him, because I know him and Kong got buffed. Collab, end of maintenance. Notice the balance adjustments. Godzilla 21 in January of 2023 got an increase to his HP and an increase to his attack. In January. So, good. That's good. He's definitely not as bad as he was. He's better. Just by definition of him getting buffed in 2 departments, he's better than he was. And when you see him coming, you stop him immediately. He is not a unit you're letting come up and, right to your face. I'm letting G89 come up to my leader so I can Kamakris him and call it a day. Right? I can do the same thing with G21. 9 times out of 10, I see G21. I'm like, that motherfucker has to go now. If you keep him protected, he's S tier. Unfortunately, it's not the case. Godzilla 1954. Godzilla 1954, I think, is in the bottom of A. He's only getting better with the more units that are added to his pool of characters he can transform into. I almost would have put him in B, top of B, but him becoming GMK for 5 energy is massive. Becoming the Curious for 5 is really good. G89, or no, the Curious, it would be... The Curious and GMK, he would be 4. 89 is 5. He's a character that you really need to invest in big time. Just because of the nature of how he works, and he transforms into other units, and you can manipulate who he becomes. But then your deck gets really wonky, and no one's really running an all Godzilla deck unless you're gimmicky, you're like a mega fan. You don't really understand how the meta works. He's good. He's not great. Well, I mean, I don't want to say he's not great, because he certainly is an extremely good unit. No. Leaking over here. He's good. He's really good. He's really strong. He's really powerful. But the big drawback is if your other characters are weak, he is not worth running. This season, he can become a level 12 GMK. For a lot of players, or for if you're in King of the Monsters, he'll become level 12 GMK, right? Level 65, he becomes a 10. Fun fact, next season, when you can't rent a GMK at that level, guess what? This guy's going to transform into an extremely low-level unit for you, and that's his biggest drawback. He has great potential. It's just you have to invest so heavily in your entire roster that it kind of makes him not worth it. What's my favorite unit, Dawn? It's an interesting question. My favorite unit's probably Ultima. I really, really like Ultima a lot. And he's coming up on this list. G89. G89 has fallen. I'll put him even under G21, right? At least with G21, I feel threatened when I see him on the field. G89, I'm not even worried when I see a G89. Man, I throw Mothra Leo down in the Kamacuras or Gigan 04 and I call it a day. Not even worried. I'm like choking on myself over here. G89 has fallen pretty far. He is a really expensive unit that has basically everything in the game counters him. He still hits really hard. He's still extremely valuable as a leader, but this is not a not really a unit you're running regularly. A lot of people, I'm seeing a lot of people run him this season. Specifically because of like GMK and some of the exploding units. He's going to get hit with the explosion, you guys. He's going to get hit with the damage down. He's going to kill GMK. He's not going to live through a burning and the fourth angel, right? G89 is good, but he's not as good as he used to be, and it's only because we have better options now. He doesn't need a buff. He can work really well in a Gigan Rush deck. You know, I would be lying if I said I haven't died to a G89 in the last month, right? If a Gigan deck if there's a smart player piloting a Gigan Rush deck, and they send him down a lane that I'm not expecting after I've expunged a lot of energy, I'm losing, right? I use 4-star leaders pretty much exclusively these days. I haven't run a G89 leader in quite some time, so I know when I see him, I gotta have Kamacuras or Gigan 04 on the standby. Most decks are running counters to G89. If you're not, you can still probably get away with killing him pretty easily, but most decks just run counters to him by default. And a lot of the same counters are, you know, counters to G21. But I think overall G21 is kind of stronger than him. But there's room for that to be debated. Earth is fire. I love Godzilla Earth. I'm putting him right here up in the A tier. Godzilla Earth is great. Godzilla Earth is an entire archetype on his own. It's pretty much like a stress push deck, right? You drop Earth on one side and then you just let all your other units rip, and your opponent's going to either have to deal with the crazy powerful Earth or a flood of other units. Normally you're running the energy base with this, but if you drop Earth before the energy, if you drop Earth and then you play the energy base, 9 times out of 10 your opponent is going to want to deal with the Earth and not the energy base, right? So you have a lot of wiggle room there. Burning Godzilla Animation says, to be honest, I don't use meta units because I despise meta and I find it boring. So I like to use units that are fun, and I've actually won against meta decks. There you go. Eva lead plus Girth is scarier than Mothra lead and Girth. When Godzilla Earth is dropped on the field, you go bananas like Harambe. If Girth had a higher speed, he would definitely be higher. Listen, they could add more health to Earth and he would be S tier, right? Earth is awesome. Earth will become meta one day. Let me break it down. Earth meta has come. Okay? He's not the dominant meta, but a good Earth deck and a good Earth player are very hard to beat. Okay? Girth is really, really good. A lot of players are kind of dumb and they just kind of drop him and do whatever. A skilled Earth player knows exactly what is up and how to keep them alive. A good Earth player Earth is his own entire archetype on his own in this game, and he's crazy. Earth meta is here, has been here. You just don't see it because Earth meta is a lot harder to understand than just I'm placing all my 5-cost flyers and I'm just going to win. It's a little bit more technical and keeping him alive longer. He's really sick. Do I want King Ghidorah 2019 or Burning Godzilla 2018 or 2019 Burning Godzilla? I want both. I'll take both of them. Any of Earth's stats could get buffed and he would probably be S. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's really good. I mean, he's Earth is crazy. Earth players are scary. 9 times out of 10 if I see Earth, I'm worried. Terrestris. I love Ultima. I love Terrestris. Terrestris, unfortunately, though, is not extremely valuable at this time in the game. He's going in the C tier. Terrestris is good. It's not amazing. Terrestris is good. His heal is good. His range is good. His damage is good. But he is pretty much built to die, and he is susceptible to basically anything heavy hitting on the ground, and he costs 5, and right, he's 5 or is he 6 to drop? I don't remember. He's good. He's really good if you are playing early game. Late game, Terrestris is just so ridiculous. He's 6, yeah. I lost my train of thought. Terrestris is really good early game. The later in the game that you are without the Ultima, the worse off it's going to be. It's not great when it's just Terrestris the whole match. If you have him in Ultima, you're flying. Speaking of Ultima, I love Godzilla Ultima. A lot of people step to me talking mad shit. Ultima ain't good anymore. Chief Keef ain't this, Chief Keef ain't that. Ultima not a hitter no more. Ultima is extremely good. And he's seeing a come up. He's seeing a come up. Am I sick? I don't know. He's seeing a come up because of the bomb squad meta. Okay? He is an amazing counter to the bomb squad meta. The snipers can kill the bomb squad without getting hit by the explosions. Now, a lot of people are using probably allergies. Pollen is crazy this year. You know what? It might be pollen. I have pretty bad pollen allergies. That's what it might be, actually. Or dust, even. Usually my allergies start to act up again when the spring starts. Kind of around my birthday, and that, oh, look at the time, right? So, it's starting. Ultima's great. In a meta that is being dominated right now. Why are my PNGs low res? Because the screen is small. But if I were to like blow it up, like they're pretty high quality. But I had it on like far out, so you could just see like the whole list. But it's good quality. I'm just kind of far away. Hey Melee, oh hey Jaden. Yeah, he's absurd. Whenever an opponent gets him, it's always annoying. Try my best. Yeah, when your opponent evolves into an Ultima, like it becomes a problem, right? Especially if you're using the bomb squad. You know, burning has to be pretty close to attack. The 4th angel has to be extremely close to attack. GMK has some leeway, and G54 even less so. Ultima will work them. Super X will work them. Manila will work them. So the sniper decks are coming back exclusively pretty much to counter those decks. They're still going to get worked by the 5-cost flyer deck, but the bomb squad is everywhere, and they're really good counter to the bomb squad. Hedera flying form is C tier near the bottom. Hedera flying form exists to evolve, right? Odds are Hedera flying form is not getting killed, right? In a match, it evolves, it travels extremely slow. It has acid underneath it. It can't be hit by units that only target ground because it's flying, which is good. So that's what you want. It's an evolution piece that flies, which means some units can't target it. That's good. It can only be hit by one of the train, like the train bomb attacks in 2 parts. It can only be hit by 1 part of those, which is great, as opposed to battery, which hits by 2. Pretty much exists to evolve, and you're mostly guaranteed the evolution. I like that a lot. Hedera is chilling. What level am I? I have 80,000 power In Clash of Legends, I don't know what level I am in the game. I'm rank 66 in the arena. I don't know what my player level is, 9 or 10? I think it's 9. I think I'm about to hit 10. Maybe I'm halfway to 10. I'm definitely 9 for sure because I have the last slot unlocked in the store. I'm 9 at minimum. Hedera, you have 200 million power? Show me how. How did you do that? Did you get the 40 free pulls? Hedera is kind of coming back with the bomb squad. You can use her either in the bomb squad or against them because a lot of them are kind of close and they get like people do dimension tide. She's good. I like her a lot. I don't know if she's better than Biolante this season. I want to say yeah. I think she is. I think she's better than Biolante, but I don't think she's better than Earth. And I don't think she's better than Ultima. Melee, I did what you told me. It sounds exactly like you. It's uncanny. Well, is it in the Discord? GBL memes. I did it. Hold on.
Out of all the presidents, I think Donald Trump was the greatest, bro. Make America great again. You know what I'm saying?
Stop. Stop. That sounds so good. That deepfake sounds so good, bro. Chill out. Chill out with that. I lost my train of thought. But Hedera's awesome. Jaden says, in your opinion, Hedera matures either low A or B because GMK is better in every way, and with G04 being meta and being able to easily pull aggro, he's fallen off hard. Yeah, I think she's just about like middle of the A, middle to low A. I don't think she's like as good as she was. She's decent, and with the bomb squad being used everywhere, it's not bad to use her because a lot of players will put the bomb squad together. So she'll be able to hit them all, and then her acid explosion will really trip them up, but is what it is. Wait, how do I see GBL memes on the Discord, or am I just blind? GBL memes is a thread in the Discord. GBL memes is a thread in GBL general. And then there's meme train. So GBL memes is where you can post and discuss the memes, and meme train is just the memes, no discussion. It's just an easy way to find all the memes. Cool. But Hedera's good. Hedera's not as good as she was, but she's still pretty solid. I think she's a good counter to Bomb Squad, but if your opponent's not running Bomb Squad, she's just alright. Her favorite trio. Ginyu Force over here with these poses. Jet Jaguar legitimately has one of my favorite models in the entire game. His colors just pop in a way that no other character in this game does. I mean, look at all these characters that are like black and brown and like white and like silver and like muted colors, and then you have him like red, white, blue, red, silver, blue, yellow. It looks so good. Jet Jaguar first form is gonna go right over here. He's basically an effect piece. Jet Jaguar, you summon him and he gives a attack boost and then he dies. That's it, or he evolves. Cool. He's the only unit that gets worse when he evolves. Nope, that's Manila. This one. God, I don't know. I don't know what they would need to do to make him better. Maybe give him like an absurd... Maybe if they gave him like... I don't know. Maybe if they gave him health like G80, like better health than G89, then he would be really solid. Right? He could be really, really solid if he had Godzilla 89. Like say at level 15, Jet Jaguar 72 had like... I don't know. Give him like 4,000 health or 5,000 health or something like that at level 15, like girth level health or something like that, and he'll be good. I don't know. What's his health now? What's his current health now? I don't even know. Maybe just give him like 70% more health or like 45% more health or something so that he can actually do melee attacks. Because he's going to hit someone, push them away, and basically give any ranged unit a free attack while he has to work his way back over to them. It's ridiculous. The other Jet Jaguar, though, is not that bad. This Jet Jaguar is coming back in the meta because he can tank the shit out of these explosions, man. He's coming back with some really solid DPS. I'm seeing a lot of Jet Jaguar singular points running around these days. They're really good at blocking Mothra Leo. They're really good at blocking a few shots from GMK. They can take down the swarms. I mean, they can block an infinite amount of ammo twice. Or an infinite amount of damage twice. They have really great DPS. They have a really great AoE. They're just alright. They're not meta. They're really good. They have extremely high DPS, as Kaku's is saying again. Very high. There's better deep. If Biollante doesn't have the damage boost, like I said earlier, Singular Point Jet Jaguar has a higher DPS rate than Biollante, who hits in a 360-degree circle. Jet Jaguar Singular Point is really good. A lot of higher ranked players are starting to experiment with him again. I like him a lot. I hope he comes back into the meta. He was meta when he first joined the game. He's not really meta now, but he is a good substitute. And for his cost, why not? He's a pretty good plug and play. All right. This Kamacuras Swarm is in the C tier. It's fucking terrible. It is a ton of Kamacuras with, I'm pretty sure, less health than these 3 Kamacuras for 3 additional cost. Not for 5 cost for a bigger Kamacuras Swarm is not great, especially with all of the AoE in the game and in the meta right now. It's just not a good move. Not it. We're not going to spend too much time talking about that. But the regular Kamacuras, though, are definitely S tier. For whatever reason, the regular Kamacuras are extremely tanky. Okay? And they're 2 cost with a fast deployment. So they can block pretty much anything in this game, right? The Kamacuras are like free hits. Obviously, the other Kamacuras are free hits as well. But it is... The other Kamacuras cost 5, and you get 5 free hits. This Kamacuras costs 2, and you get 3 free hits. These Kamacuras last longer, they attack harder, and they drop faster. They are one of the most extremely versatile, as Kaku said again, one of the most extremely versatile units in the entire game. They are the definition of mandatory meat shield. They are awesome. They will block everything from a rushing G89 to a Mothra Leo. They will stop the attack, and God forbid the unit they stop is on the ground, because they will, if that unit doesn't have AoE, the Kamacuras will eat them alive. Constantly, players are dropping Kiryu or Mogera on my 4-star leaders because they think it's going to be an easy pick. I always have Kamacuras on the back burner on defense. I see the Kiryu missiles come down. I wait for Kiryu to drop. Right, I see where he's coming. I put the Kamacuras down, and they either take aggro or they kill the Kiryu before you do anything. It is really hard for a single target attacker to live through a level 30 plus Kamacuras on the defensive, and it is even... Fuck, now I forgot what I was going to say. If like a Kiryu or a unit like a GD9 or something is not focused on the Kamacuras, the Kamacuras are going to eat them up. And if the unit is a single target and is focused on the Kamacuras, they're still going to eat him up. The regular Kamacuras are an insane unit. Basically, everything in this game bows down to the regular Kamacuras. Even Earth. If the opponent's Earth is attacking my leader or another beefier unit and I drop the Kamacuras, hey, I just dropped 3 units for 2 cost that are, for whatever reason, really strong, and they got buffed a few months ago to be even better, and they just will run through everything. They run through everything. I don't know what it is. It's the buffs. They're stronger than these Kamacuras are. These Kamacuras are more expensive and weaker. These ones are way cheaper and way stronger. Extremely OP combo. Kamacuras can take 2 hits from Earth usually, exactly. These fucking Manti are unreasonably tanky and strong and basically counter everything. It's fucking awesome. Who thought it was a good idea to buff the regular Kamakura? I don't know. Whoever's smoking that Biollante Monster Island Shadow Wizard Moongrass over the Toho Studios. Kids is not amazing, but I'm putting Kids at the top of D. Kids was previously I had worse than Gigan. I'm moving Kids to the top of D, but not in C because of one reason. Yes, Kids is not a 6 cost anymore. It's a 5 cost. If Kids was cheaper, I would move it up higher. Kids might become meta. And I don't say this as a joke. I am deadly serious. Let me explain to you. A level 50 kids, right? Is it level 50, level 30s? What? Kids? I'm trying to think of the stats for it. But you can get Kids to a 3-second teleport. I think at level 30, it's a 4-second teleport or something. It's like a 4.2, 4.3. Kids paired with the bomb squad is very difficult to beat. At least with Dimension Tide, I can hit the units. When I Kids the bomb squad, it makes them incredibly difficult to counter. Now, this is not an easy thing to do, and I don't recommend doing it because this is something that whales are doing because they have everything at level 50. Their Kids is traveling things like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever it is. Very hard to counter. Kids does not work. Kids does not work really well at any level like under 40 because it's too long to teleport and too long to telegraph, and it's easy to telegraph. But when you can get them to teleport like instant transmission Dragon Ball style, it's fucking ridiculous. And especially with the bomb squad, it's extremely deadly. So D tier. But if they sped up the Kids teleport time, it would be shooting up. Shooting up. Big time. But it's too expensive for the speed that it has. But a lot of the whales that have it at 40 or higher are using it with the bomb squad, and it is extremely difficult to beat. Next is King Caesar. King Caesar, I gotta stretch. King Caesar is kind of falling off these days. Wait, melee. Wait, man, I can't wait. Smash your press kid. Nope. Sleeper Caesar is a sleeper pick if at 30 or higher. Kids became meta during Zayton season. It was wild. That's just a quick look at what it's going to be soon. I don't think it was meta during the Zayton season. I think people were just having a fun time with it. Caesar, I don't think is really a sleeper pick. Caesar is like, I don't know, it's like a tried and true tested unit. It's like saying if Caesar is a sleeper pick, then King Ghidorah is a sleeper pick, right? I think Caesar is a B tier unit. Caesar is, I'm going to put him, I think he's better than G21, but I don't think he is better. I mean, I don't know if he's better. He might be better than Destroyer at the moment. He's good. He's not necessary. Mothra Leo is infinitely better, right? King Caesar's good. He's always really been good. I think he got nerfed a few months ago, but he got fixed recently to make it so his transition is better, which is good. But Caesar is these days just extremely predictable. He hasn't really had a major stat change in a long time. If his attack got increased, then he would be placed higher. But he is a victim of power creep. Leo does what he does, but Leo does literally exactly what Caesar does, except way better, because it's way stronger, right? There are other units that are way stronger than him now. It's his stats that are holding him back. His kit and everything. I gotta sneeze. His kit is really good. Everything about him is really good except the stats. His stats are getting power crept. That's why he's staying in B tier. If his stats got bumped up, he would be really good. It's not that he's counterable. Anything that's going to counter Leo will counter him, right? Anything that's countering him is countering Leo. He can go under the flyers, right? If he was a little bit faster, he could go under Bastion, he could go under King Ghidorah, he could go under Fyrodan, he could go under Leo. But it's his stats. He has not had a significant stat increase in a long time, and it is holding him back. Now, the King Ghidorahs, Mega King Ghidorah and regular King Ghidorah. Mecha King Ghidorah, I'm putting right ahead of Des Ghidorah. Not because he's better than Des Ghidorah, but because it is easier to get pieces for him than Des Ghidorah, and that on its own warrants a placement ahead. Mecha King Ghidorah was extremely meta when they accidentally made his attack 2.1 seconds. By far one of the most powerful units in the game. Not the case. They fixed that shit in like a week and a half, and they set it back to 2.8. The only difference between him and the regular King Ghidorah is literally 69 nice points of damage between evolving. That's it. It's very similar stats as well to Des Ghidorah. They're both okay. They're not great. They're bottom of A, these two. But the only reason I put him ahead is because you should get pieces for him. This King Ghidorah I'm putting in the B tier. King Ghidorah is fine, right? If you want to run King Ghidorah and Mecha King Ghidorah, OG Mecha King Ghidorah is still better than now. Yeah. Like, you can run the Ghidorahs if you want. They're fine picks. They're not the best pick. They're not meta picks. If you want to run a 5-cost flyer deck and put them in there, sure. But they're fine. They're nice to have. They're not great. The 7-cost ruins them in general. I don't think the 7-cost would be bad if they made its attack speed faster or Mecha King Ghidorah attack harder. I wouldn't mind the 7-cost on them, right? And they've been fucking with King Ghidorah for a long time. He was an 8-cost, and then he was a 6-cost, and then he was a 7-cost, and he was a 6-cost, and he was an evolution, and then he was back to this, and he was a 2.1 second attack. Like, they fuck with him constantly because they don't know what to do with him. And he's not that good now. That's what it is. Yes, but you're saying that the 7-cost ruins him. I don't think the 7-cost ruins him. I think it's the stats. I think if Mecha King Ghidorah was a 6, or regular King Ghidorah was a 6, and Mecha King Ghidorah was a 7, and Mecha King Ghidorah had at least his attack increased by 100 or 200 points, I think it would be significantly better. That's it. Because regular King Ghidorah evolves into him super easily. He just has to die. But at least when Fire Rodan dies and becomes the other Fire Rodan, he gets the health drop, right? That's really good. He evolves to him with no other change other than a little bit of extra damage. At least if these two Rodan stats are exactly the same, this Rodan at least has the heal. The heal is huge, right? And that's what sets him apart. They didn't even bother to giving Mecha King Ghidorah anything special. Man, you listen to Fonk? I don't think so. If I have, it's not on purpose. Konk. I like Kong. I don't think he's very good. Kong is a worse G89. Kong is not great. Kong does everything that G89 does, but his stats are a little worse, and that's really the end of that story. Not great. He's just all right. I love Kong. He's one of my favorite characters in Godzilla media. He's a big monkey. I love apes. I love monkeys. Kong is one of my favorites. And I didn't think that, growing up, Kong was never one of my favorites. But as I got older, I really started to appreciate King Kong. Really sick. Like him a lot. Not great. Not great in this game. When was the last time Cow Song was played? I don't even know. I don't even know when the last time Cow Song was played. I've had only Kong work well on me and now MG21 is literally better than Kong in every aspect. Yes, I agree. Kong is a phenomenal leader, though. I really like him as a leader a lot. Don't knock him. The monkey leader is awesome. But as a unit, not so much. Markalite Cannon. I had Markalite Cannon in the bottom of C tier. But I almost want to put Markalite Cannon in D tier. I don't know, though. I don't know where I want to put it. Maybe I'll put him in the bottom of C. I feel like Markalite is really strong early. You have the Cow Song? Fine, you have the Cow Song. I feel like Markalite is really strong early game. It's not very strong right now. It's just, like, in the late game, Markalite is fine. In the early game, Markalite can be really good. Yeah, if your opponent has trains, you're fucked. And most people are running trains. And trains is getting a damage buff for some reason next season. So, next season, Markalite and all the facilities are just going to D, probably. C, because if you don't have trains, it can actually be a good threat. Yeah, it's not an offensive threat. It's extremely powerful defensive one. If your opponent's not running trains or Dimension Tide, it's really hard to deal with it. But not really hard. It's just like a little bit inconvenient to deal with it. But next season, I don't think it's going to be placing as high. M-Boss are also probably going to follow the same fate as the Markalite next season as well. The M-Boss base, I like. I don't think the M-Boss base is terrible. I think it's in the B tier. I think it is right behind the energy base, since the energy base will help you win harder, and the M-Boss basically just like make your deck annoyed or your opponent annoyed. There's a few players in the high ranks that are running M-Boss base, and you can see success with M-Boss base. It's not extremely meta. It's all right. It's way better than the choppers for the purpose of or for the reason the M-Boss have a stun attached to them, which is like, you know what we're saying with like the Ghidoras and Rodans. The Ghidoras are fine, but the Rodans are better because the Rodan gets the heal, right? The choppers are whatever, and the M-Balls would be whatever if it was just damage, but because of the stun, that's good. And if you can keep a lot of those M-Balls alive, and you can just keep stunning your enemies, that's good too. The M-Balls pair really well with Manila, they pair really well with Naranga, they pair really well with Ultima and the Super X, and that could be a difficult deck to beat. They're just alright. They're not very special, they're just okay. They're not very great. Speaking of not very great is the actual M-Boss themselves. Not many people are running them. I don't think that they're better than the Giant Octopus. The M-Boss are just fine. They're going to die in one hit to pretty much everything. I like the M-Boss base more because you get more M-Boss for 5. These ones are cost 2 or 3 or whatever, and you get the 2 M-Boss. It's just all right. Back when the game was fresh and new and the meta was brand new and ripe and no one really knew what was going on, I was using the M-Balls with Manila and Ultima and really fucking over some people. But these days, trains, any AoE, it's a tough world out there for characters with not a lot of health. And unfortunately, all the military vehicles do not have a lot of health. M-Balls are better than Go. Go does nothing. M-Balls do something even if it's minuscule. I disagree on such a fundamental level. It's not even funny. I do not think the two regular M-Balls are better than Giant Octopus. Not a chance. Giant Octopus will survive getting hit by G89. The M-Ball will most certainly not. That Godzilla about to have his time now. How they've been talking about mecha units, still waiting for Garuda to be added so he can be attached to Mecha Godzilla and show what he's the guy. I wish that they would make Garuda its own unit and then maybe Super Mecha Godzilla their own unit, but I know that they're just going to make Super Mecha Godzilla an evolution. It's just fine. Mecha Godzilla has fallen pretty hard. Melee, what should I do with your AI? I don't know. Make me say something funny. What is this one?
Trans rights? Who cares about trans rights? No humans will have rights after I shoot them point blank in the face with my 12 gauge.
What the fuck is that I just listened to in the memes chat, bro? That is not a Godzilla meme. Holy shit. Mason. Jesus. But you can make a funny do a Trump and Biden and me talking about Battleline or something. Wait, Giant Octopus can't be that tanky? Yeah, Giant Octopus is tanky. Giant Octopus is thick. Let me go find my Giant Octopus stats for you actually. But Mechagodzilla is just alright. Mechagodzilla is like just the default unit of like Mechagodzilla can God, now it's just gonna bother me that Mason we play that audio. We're all LGBT and trans friendly here, you guys. It was not a serious threat. Mason, I'm pretty sure you're part of the persuasion, and it's all a joke, not serious. It's just an AI TikTok meme. Damn it, Mason. This is why I don't listen to your memes when we do streams. Now I'm looking up Giant Octopus stats. My Giant Octopus is level 32. He almost has 1,800 health. My G89 is level 34. He has less damage at 34 than my Giant Octopus has health. He'll survive. Yeah, John Octopus is good. The M-Boss will die pretty fast. John Octopus lives forever. I firmly believe John Octopus is better than the M-Boss. Mega Gearus. Mega Gearus is a good unit. I'm putting her at the top of B. Mega Gearus has always been a fine unit and just something that's always been very reliable. Another 5-cost flyer. Extremely good on defense. She has to get close up and personal, but that's okay. Her slow is really good. She'll stop a like King Caesar or a Leo from rushing, which is nice. She won't stop like a Gigan rush though, or is something with a speed boost, but she's good. Mega Gears has always just been a fine option to place in your deck. Doesn't really matter what deck you're running. Oh, I'm like going the wrong way with this thing. Doesn't really matter what deck you're running. I'm trying to see how long we've been going in the stream, and it's like fucking up my whole thing. An hour and a half, cool. Mega Gears has just always been viable. She's always just like a good unit to pick. She's a 5-cost flyer. She's tanky. She's really good on defense. I like her a lot. She's always been like a B pick. I think maybe once in a, you know, in a moon, many moons ago, Mega Gearus was in the meta, right, or extremely viable in it. Now she's just like a nice to have good pick, especially if you're coming up in the game, but a lot of end game meta decks do not run her at all. But she's a good pick though. I like her a lot. Really good flex option for defense. And when you're gonna make a 5 GBL YouTubers who've sworn in video, me, motherfucker, I'm the 5 GBL YouTubers that swear. None of the other GBL YouTubers are swearing like I am out here. Put some respect on that. Missiles suck. The missiles are bad. Bad. They deserve the train treatment of getting their cost reduced and now their power increased. Missiles are not great for their cost. The damage that they put out is not good. You're better off running the trains. That's literally all it is to it. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Where's Miller? I miss him. He deserves more love, man, just to be on stream. Miller is in the living room playing with his toys. He is not in here tonight. Manila hate. You will not accept Manila hate. No, I like Manila. Manila is rising in the meta because of the flyers. Or not the flyers, the bomb squad. I'm putting Manila here. If it's not high A, I don't think Manila is high A anymore. I don't think Manila is in the A tier anymore. I don't think he's low A. I think he's mid to high B now. It's because his attack is so long now. And it's not that great. But with the rise of the bomb squad, he's definitely coming up from the bottom of B into mid B. I think that's probably where he'll stay for a little while. Manila never left, you silly goose. Manila is... I like him. He was one of the first characters I got the 30. He was one of the first characters I got the skins for. I got the Ultima skin. And the first day that studio mode was live, within the first hours that studio mode was live, I got Ultima to max, and then I got Manila to max. And I got those skins the first day. But I like Manila a lot, and he's seeing a little bit of a resurgence because of the bomb squad, and he can keep him away with the stun. But overall, he's not very good anymore. His health is low, but that's fine. It's always been low. It's that his health, or not his health, his attack speed was increased, so it takes him longer to attack. Rush units are dead with Manila. Rush units are dead when I drop the Kamacuras. So Manila, it's just his attack time. After his attack time got increased, he kind of fell off. Melee, do your loyal members solid and push Kemmer from S to S plus for you. No, sir. You already got your one request. I am not a request bank. I did you one solid by putting Kiryu up way early. To be honest, you find Manila to be fodder. Manila has been giving me run for my money sometimes. I think he's better than people realize, but I don't think he's meta anymore. Mogera's getting attack buff. Mogera is pretty good these days. Mogera is just like not at the top of his game. Maybe next season he will be. Mogera's pretty good. You can place Mogera anywhere on the map. He has decent range. He got a really fast... what is Mogera? Tied for like one of the fastest attacks in the game, right? I gotta now see what his attack is as well. You snipe people to death with Manila. Manila's really good. Rush unit gets stuck when stunned, better than throwing your tank out. It's true. It's true. But I still don't think that is enough to put him in A. Naraga is mid A. That hate will not accept. Oh, I'm not even hit the Naraga yet, but I'm a big fan of Naraga this season especially. So I will Don't worry, Naranga is going to get some justice done. But now I'm looking at Mogera's stats on my game. Mogera has a 1.1 second attack. Mogera does a lot of damage very fast. His high DPS, or like I think he has high DPS, but his 1.1 second attack is great, and you can place him everywhere, which is super cool. But he just doesn't have the stats to boot what he used to be. A really good, Mogera was meta a long time ago. He was meta a long time ago. Maybe next season after his buff, he'll become meta again. I hope so. I pray. I really like Mogera. Remember when Mogera had a 0.8 second? Dude, Mogera was a champion, bro, back in the day. I love Mogera. Mogera deserve it. I almost clicked the wrong thing. Mothra Larva and Leo and regular Mothra. So Mothra Larva is a C tier unit. I'm putting her up a little bit higher than before. Because she's a pretty reliable evolution. Mothra herself is pretty good at high levels, and Mothra Larva having a slow is pretty good. So she's going in the C tier, mid C tier. I moved her up. I think last season, where did I have her last season? I had her pretty low. I think this is higher than where she was last season. I don't remember though. But that slow is actually pretty useful. I've been using her recently on sometimes, like when I'm just like testing like an off deck. I've been using it. Leo is close to meta. No, Nick. Leo is meta. Leo is meta. Leo is a phenomenal character. Mothra Leo fucks up everything in the game. Why does she take longer to evolve than Batra, regular Mothra? I don't know. But she's really good. She's really good. Kago says Mothra 92 needs levels, but she has highest DPS for cost, 550 DPS at 30. Yeah. Leo better than Batra? I don't know. I don't put everything in the S plus tier. I don't really rank above them. Everything in the S plus tier speaks for itself. I don't really have a specific order for the S plus tier, but everything else is in a specific order. You could make the argument that Leo is better than Batra, or Batra is better than Leo. I think actually, you know what, maybe for this season, I'll put Leo ahead of Batra, just because GMK can cancel Batra, but even if GMK hits Leo, Leo still hits for a metric fuck ton of damage, so we'll put Leo ahead for this season. Extremely powerful unit, very strong. Doesn't need to evolve, 5 cost is great. Can't wait for the Batra buff next season. Yeah, the inevitable Batra buff. Mothra, 92, pretty good unit. Especially at the high levels, a lot of people are getting her pretty high up. She has pretty high DPS, as said in chat before. I don't think she's extremely meta. I think she's good. She's a good option because she's cheaper than most other units, but I don't really think she's super impactful. Normally when I see regular Mothra, I just hit her with a Leo and call it a day or something like that, but she has really good attack. She like hits in an AoE for like 10 hits. Great DPS. What does the chat say? Is the GMK nerf 90% or 9? It's like a 9 to 10% nerf. She's meta in fixed. Ask more. Well, actually, this is a ranked arena tier list, not a fixed tier list. No, Mothra is a monster in fixed for sure. This is not in the arena though. Compared to everything else you got, she's good, not the best. Nick says, I honestly haven't used Leo recently because I have a good deck in use. You've experimented with one which included in deck suggestions in Discord for counter GMK meta. Is 10%. Yeah, it's for the GMK buff is 10%. Mothra's good. She's not the best. She's not the best Mothra in the game, but she's really good. Your nerd impression is on point. Yeah, I got a lot of experience being a nerd, so my impression's pretty good. Thank you. Let me get a water. Naranga has moved up a lot this season. Last season I had Naranga in B. Naranga is definitely an A tier character this season for sure. Naranga is like somewhere over here. Naranga is great. I might actually do like this. Naranga is really good. Naranga is the best boy. Naranga is the best boy. Now that people have levels on him, people are getting level 30 Narangas and stuff like that. Naranga will stun lock GMK. that might honestly be one of the most reliable reasons why he's in the high A tier this season, specifically because he can stun the GMK, which is one of the most meta units that we have right now. Also, Naranga's stats are not that bad. And he's the most reliable stunner in the game, and he just got an attack boost last season. He says Naranga increased attack. That helped him a fuck ton, because he wasn't really doing too much damage before. He's doing a lot of damage now, and he's basically stun locking some of the more powerful units. You combine him with Manila, you can combine him with the Emboss, and it's really tough to beat that. Him and Gigan are a menace. Gigan 04. Naranga and Gigan 04 together for 8 energy is wild. The two of them are great. Not to mention Naranga is stealthed, so he can get the jump on GMK. He can get the jump on Leo. He can get the jump on Batra. He's really good. He's a really great counter to a lot of the meta units in the game. He's just not countering things that are stun immune like Earth and Ultraman, but not really seeing a lot of Ultraman this season. Not really seeing a lot of Girths either. Naranga is pretty good all around. Jaden says, imagine if they hid his health bar so he cannot be seen, because honestly I might not notice him. Yeah, I would literally never notice Naranga if I couldn't see the health bar. The actual stuff by hiding his health bar wouldn't be interesting. Naranga makes you think now. Naranga is really good, and you can't just like throw in a character at him. I kind of have to work like how I'm going to manipulate to get around the Naranga. Psychic Chorus. Psychic Chorus is good. Psychic Chorus is not as good as it was. Psychic Chorus is like alright. I'm going to put it behind Ultima. And Psychic Chorus is fine. Having more health is always fine. The reason I'm putting Psychic Chorus behind Ultima this season, still high, it's like mid-A, is because the Bomb Squad removes Psychic Chorus from the battlefield. Okay? If you place a Psychic Chorus down, the explosions can remove it from the battlefield. They can nullify Psychic Chorus. That's why you're not seeing it, because 4th Angel gets rid of it. Worse than trans, I know you hate trans, but it's the truth. The Psychic Chorus is good for healing. It's good for keeping your pushes alive. But the sheer amount of on-death damage that is being done this season is absurd, and Psychic Chorus cannot out-heal it. It is just not happening. The 4th Angel level 30 is hitting for like 1,000-something damage on death. Burning when he dies, and if he's like level 18 or 20, is also hitting for somewhere around like 1,000 damage on death, right? The Psychic Chorus is not out healing the explosions, and the explosions also have the chance to remove it from the battlefield. Psychic Chorus is good if you're not facing the Bomb Squad. It is still as good as it used to be. But when it comes to the Bomb Squad, the Psychic Chorus is not holding up like it used to be. If they tamper with the stats of Psychic Chorus in any negative way, it's going to drop, I think, out of A completely. It's crazy. 1.3 carries, I think, not including the star bonus. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So the Psychic... I hear a drill. Is somebody drilling outside? It's fine. Psychic Chorus is not healing... is not out healing the explosions. And that's what's holding it back this season, especially. Fire Rodan, or regular Rodan. Regular Rodan, I'll put regular Rodan behind Mechagodzilla. C tier, the Rodan is the default flyer. A lot of early players use him and see pretty good usage out of him in the really early ranks, 40 or like 39 and below. Melee could be getting robbed right now, but he's just dedicated to ranking. Now, Miller would save me if I was being robbed. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, new players, everyone gets Rodan, right? As soon as you start the game, a lot of new players will use Rodan pretty well. You can level him up reliably. He's really good for the early to mid game, but all the new and mid game players, as soon as they reach into like champion rank, they're gonna get their Rodan rocked and they're gonna switch him out. Rodan and Mechagodzilla are kind of in the same line as, hey guys, this is like what a unit could be. Mechagodzilla is, hey, this is your basic land unit. It has pretty good range, pretty good attack, decent health. This is what it does. Rodan is like, hey, this is like your default flying unit. This is like what it does, right? This is a flying unit. It's like these two are like the tutorial units. They're not very good in the field. Just is what it is. Shin Godzilla. Shin L-Zilla, to be precise. This one has had a lot of work done on him recently. I'm going to put him like right over here. I put him higher up last season and the season before. I don't remember why. He's fine. It's a lot of work to get him to evolve into the other Godzillas. And I'm going to steal a line from TS Dragon that he said in his live stream. Where... What did he say? He said like... Or not his live stream, his tier list, where he was like... Shin Godzilla is a fine unit and a fun unit if you want to be in a match for like 30 minutes, right? Because it takes so long to get him to evolve. At least it's like, it's not even a guaranteed evolution with this one. There's plenty of time for you to jump him and kill him, right? And take his shoes, so. Not that great. Alright, maybe next season with the health boost it's going to be better. But it's just not it. And the same with this one. I like this one more than the other. I like him more than the other Shin Godzilla form, because yeah, when this one, the positive thing with Shin Godzilla and Destroya is that when they evolve on the field. They don't return to your hand. Cool. I don't like that he'll evolve halfway up the field with this one on. Not great. I like having him. I like evolving the first form to the second form and the second form dying. And then placing the second form for 5 energy behind my leader. Because he won't move. He's guaranteed to evolve if he's dead. Right? If this one evolves into him, and then he dies, and then I cycle it back into my hand, I can place him and guarantee you almost 100% of the time the evolution because he doesn't fucking move. It's great. It guarantees me Shin Godzilla, and then I don't have to place the main Shin Godzilla. He just spawns in, right? So that's awesome. Love that. Shin Godzilla himself, though, at the moment... not very good. Shin Godzilla is not very good. Come on, man. Commander-kun deserves some more love. Why would you hate on him? Because he's ass. Regular Shin Godzilla is also not that great. Next season, he is getting a... God, what is it? We literally went over it today, what he gets. Shin Godzilla next season gets a increase to attack in his perfect form, and the other two got an increase to their HP. Shin Godzilla clearly was designed to be the air meta counter. He was introduced when the air meta was at its peak, and his kit is designed to deal with the air meta specifically. However, he was cursed with 2 different attacks. One of the attacks is for ground targets, and it's ass. The second attack is for air units, and it's OP as fuck. However, smart players are not letting him hit the air units, and they're sending ground units after him. The Kamacuras. He'll have to deal with 3 of the Kamacuras in the time that Leo and Batra run his fucking fade, bro. It is not great. It is not great for Shin Godzilla right now. He'll have more attack, sure. I hope that it's a good fix. I don't know what else he would need to make him better. If I had my way with Shin Godzilla, I would make it so he doesn't even have a different attack for ground-based units. I say this every single time that we do a live stream and we talk about Shin Godzilla in any capacity. If he just only had his back attack, the AoE that shoots out of his back and his tail, like in the movie that he does, if it was only that AoE, he could be meta. He would have ended the 5-cost flyer meta on the spot if that was his only attack. Also, if you raise his speed, it's kind of hard to keep him in a push because he's really, really slow. It's not great. They're going to keep buffing his stats, like his attack and his health, until they get him to a usable level. I think they just need to eliminate that entire attack and just make him a little bit faster. He'll be great. End of story. Space Godzilla is coming up in the world this season. Space Godzilla, I think, is one of the better units this season. For sure, I think Space Godzilla is on the top of the A tier this season. GMK being able to remove the attack buffs is a huge detriment to your team. Being able to always have an attack boost up is not something many characters can do. The 2 characters that will constantly have their attack boosts up, or 3, I guess, are Biollante. As long as when you spawn her in the water, she has that attack up permanently until GMK hits her with it. You have Jet Jaguar, flying form Jet Jaguar, the mini one, because he can constantly put the buff up. And then Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla also pretty much always has the buff up. That alone is really good against GMK decks, especially the Bomb Squad decks. Space Godzilla, the crystals will take aggro. He's gotten a few good increases to his attack, right? This next season, also, Space Godzilla's getting an increase to his attack. Space Godzilla has received a few buffs over the last few months. It's been making him better and better and better. He's always been a solid unit, not ever like a top meta pick. I think that the more units we see, like GMK with debuffs and stuff, the more that he is going to be valuable because of his constant ability to keep a buff alive. That is huge. That is what's making him top tier. Plus his damage is good, his range is good. Space Godzilla is just really, really good. Super X. I love the Super X. Super X is coming back into the meta. Super X is not a crazy piece. I think maybe I'll put, I don't know if I want to put Super X in the bottom of A or the top of B. I'll keep it in the bottom of A. Super X is coming back. I would have put Super X in B, but Super X is coming back in a big way because of the bombers. The same reason Ultima is extremely viable is the same reason that Super X is viable. You can hit the bombers from far away. A lot of the bomber decks are focused on running the bombers up and Geigen, so you can kind of get away with the Super X. You just have to be careful of units that attack air, like Burning and GMK or Batra and Leo, if they get too close to your Super X, but a good player will normally be able to hide their Super X in a spot that's just kind of out of reach no matter where the enemies come and keep it alive long enough that it'll kill some of the units on the field. It's good. It's not as good as it used to be. It's at the bottom of A. It's just literally about a knockover into B, but it is really good. 2 attacks from just about anything will destroy Super X. It's not about Super X's health. It's about how many attacks Super X can get in before you can even hit it the one time. And it also only gets hit by 1/2 of the trains too, so you can't train the Super X to kill it. Range is the best stat in the game. No unit has it better than Super X. It can hit your units well before they're hitting it. It'll kill the 4th Angel most times. You know, it'll hit the 4th Angel from far away and detonate that. It'll detonate any of the bomb squad units, right? If you're fighting the bomb squad in a crazy push and they kill you, but you don't detonate them, you don't want them coming up on your leader and then exploding. The Super X will take them down before they reach your leader. Dimension Tide cucks the Super X, yeah. There's plenty of ways to cuck the Super X, but the range is really good. You cannot deny that. There are plenty of ways around it. That's why it's not higher up than the bottom of A. It is literally right on the bottom of A, on the border of A and B, because there are plenty of ways around it in the meta, but if you are not prepared for it, it can really be a detriment to your entire team. Ultraman. Ultraman the GOAT. Ultraman is not seeing play like how he used to. And I believe it is because still people are struggling getting levels for him. Although at this point, I know a lot of people have a lot of levels on him. Ultraman, I will lay it to you straight, is not under S tier. Ultraman is extremely valuable still. Ultraman is good. Ultraman is very good. A lot of people make the mistake of sending Ultraman by himself or using him without the Dimension Tide. You put a team fight up and you have Ultraman. Ultraman is going to run their shit. Ultraman fell off. Ultraman has only fallen off because of GMK. And you are trying to budget your deck for very powerful units. When GMK falls off next season, you'll see Ultraman again. I'm certain of it. Ultraman is good. Ultraman will always be good with the nature of his kit. He did receive a damage nerf, right? Where he got like, what was it, like maybe like 10 or something % less damage. He's still very, very strong. And you can argue with me all you want in Discord or in the chat, but I'm going to say mid players don't recognize that Ultraman is still S tier. Ultraman is so good. The nature of his kit is phenomenal. He slots into so many decks super well. He has counters built into stuns, right? He's flying and on the ground, so you can benefit from both of those kinds of buffs, you know, flying unit buffs or ground unit buffs, depending on when you use them. Love Ultraman. Mason, you don't even play the game anymore. Hop off. Ultraman's great. Not as prevalent as he used to be. Definitely not as strong damage-wise as he used to be, but he's still extremely viable. Just go into Fixed and you'll see depth. Ultraman is insane in Fixed. Ultraman is a ridiculous monster. A couple months ago, I spent a good amount of G materials on Ultraman. I don't know if I regret it, even if he's paired with GT. I spent a lot of things on Ultraman as well. I don't regret it for a second. Ultraman is still a really great unit. You can still see a lot of success with Ultraman. It's the bomb squad that's giving him a little bit of a difficulty, but he has good range. If you can keep him away from the bomb squad, you're in good hands. A lot of people are using Dimension Tide, though, to counter him. He's basically like a Super X, pretty much. He's great. Ultraman is great. Train Bomb. Train Bomb is probably up here somewhere. I'd probably put it maybe here. Somewhere here. Trains right. I'll put Trains in the middle of A. Trains are probably going to be in the S tier next season because of the damage buff. Trains are really good, basically just to counter ERB and to counter facilities and to take down Space Godzilla's gems and take down Kamakuris and finish up the bomb squad when they're at low health. And if you're going to be a fucking scumbag and Train's the leader of the entire match, there's nothing really they can do about it. The moral of the story is that the Train bombs have really high damage for their cost. That's it. And they can be placed anywhere in the field. They can be placed anywhere. They have absurdly high damage for their cost, and they're getting a damage buff next season. The Train bombs are really good. They're only going to get better next season with the buff. So middle of A, middle high A, I think is a pretty appropriate spot for them. I don't think they're S tier because it's not necessary that you run Train bombs in your deck. You just become a fucking inconvenience if you do. All right, we're getting into the wire. These special boys. I'm a man. I never finish a match with Trains. Hell fucking yeah. Be cool if G9 could pick up the Train and throw it back down. G54 should pick up the Trains and throw them back down as he waits through the village toward the center of town. Trains rights. Who could Trains rights? Say, well, Trains your leader to push your Train nerve. Man, I had Zayton in B last season, and I think that was just straight copium, but I think Zayton... Nope, that's my files. I think Zayton is, like, the top of C. I really like Zayton. I really want Zayton to work. I think Zayton will have his time in the sun. No one's using Zayton, man. No one's using Zayton. Zayton needs to be doing more damage. Zayton's kit is so good. Zayton's kit is so good, and Toho is afraid of giving him more damage because he costs so much, and he already does. Like, his explosion does a ludicrous amount of damage. Okay? You say once Zayton gets higher levels, he'd be easy A. I have been putting levels into Zayton whenever I can, not with G tiers, but when I find the things for him, and I like him a lot. He doesn't really have a team or an archetype that he fits really well with. He fits really well in the Kiryu stall archetype. But man, players need more levels for him, and I think he needs an attack buff. I think he just needs to do more damage. His explosion is percentual. Yeah, but his explosion does 90% at max. You know? Like, his explosion does a ridiculous amount of damage at all the tiers. Kiryu stall isn't a thing. Kiryu lead is just a safeguard. Kiryu stall is a thing. You're not using Kiryu to stall. You're stalling so you can use the Absolute Zero Cannon. You can either just make Kiryu your leader as a safe bet that you just play the game however you want, and then at the end of the match, you Absolute Zero Cannon Trains. But there are a lot of players that do use Kiryu in a stall deck and basically just frustrate the opponent. Kiryu stall is most certainly an archetype. 100%. But yeah, no one's using Zayton. He fits in the Kiryu stall, but not really great. Major copy of me putting him in B tier last season. Mephilas is pretty alright. Mephilas got an attack buff this season. I think he's fine. I don't really think he's amazing. I think Mephilas he's pretty good. I think he would be better if he was not a 6 cost. You're better off using regular meta team rather than stalling, better chance of winning. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that that's not an archetype. It's still an archetype whether or not you're using it or not. But I agree that you're better off using a meta team than stalling, but people still do stall on purpose. Especially a long time ago, too. People were doing it all the time. I like Mephilas. I wish he was 5 or 4 cost. He's pretty good. His stats are really good if you have him at a higher level. Mine's like 22 or something like that, 23. And he's solid. It's just he's a little bit expensive. He's just too expensive. If his cost was reduced to 4 or 5, I think he would be finding a real good sweet spot in a lot of decks. His stun is good. His kick is fun. His animation T-pose is great. I like pretty much everything about him except his cost. So if his cost was decreased, that would be very awesome. Why was Ultraman actually annoying for a minute? Because he is great. Ultraman is still annoying if you're not using him properly, or if you're not fighting him. Ultraman has really good. He has Manila levels of range. He has piercing, and he's immune to stun, and he can fly and be on land, so he can dodge a lot of attacks. And he's fast. He's really good for a push with Leo and Batra. Really good. He can't be stun locked. If it could be, he'd be the best. If it could be, he'd be the best stun lock. Of course, yeah. You're talking about Mephilas, but Ultraman was super annoying for a while. He's still really annoying if players use him correctly, but because you're fighting for such limited space in your deck and players want to try out what's new and stuff like that, and a lot of players didn't really have a lot of levels on Ultraman, he kind of fell off. But you were seeing Ultraman pretty regularly until like around last month or even like December-ish. It's just the way the meta evolves, right? They nerfed his attack, and then other people had their damages brought up, and so people are using them instead. But his kit is still phenomenal. His damage is still phenomenal. There's just no other characters people are using. Godzilla 04 Final Wars. I had in A tier. I do not believe Final Wars is A tier. I think Final Wars is probably somewhere like down here. I think he's B. I don't think he's great. I mean, I think he's good, but I don't think he's as good as I thought he was. He is still good. He is still fine. Yeah, you say he needs the levels. 7 cost for what he has to offer is fine. I think he should have been a 6 or a 5. If he was a 5, he would probably be everywhere. His knockback is fun. His ranged attack is fun. He's powerful. He's fast. He's got a lot of really good things going for him. His stats are good. He's too expensive. A very common problem is that he's just too expensive. That's it. That's it. He's expensive. He's good, but he's not great. And for the price, it's not worth it. Godzilla 4's out of 5 costs would be the best buff he could receive. He feels the most 5 costs out of all the Godzillas. Exactly. But they made him too powerful for what reason? Who knows? He hits like a truck. He also costs like a truck. Exactly. It's ridiculous. Kiryukai top of A. I think Kiryukai is probably somewhere like right here. I think, I mean, in my heart, I think Ultima is better. But I think realistically, Kiryukai is in the top of A. I mean, both of the Kiryus are. Both the Kiryus are really good. His snipe is really solid. And the thing that puts him over Ultima is, yeah, he doesn't have the same range. You can place him anywhere. It makes it so easy to get him up with a push. Hide him in the back corner to fight a leader. His close range explosion is really, really great. So, or not close range explosion, close range AoE is great. I like Kiryukai a lot. I was running Kiryukai a lot last season and the season before. I've been running him pretty much since he was introduced with EVA 1. I only switched him out this season to use GMK with the Bomb Squad, and that's just what I'm going to keep doing. Kiryukai is very good. I prefer regular Kiryu because I think he looks cooler and I like the missiles more, but Kiryukai is really fucking good too. Really good. I like both of them. Ultima and Kiryukai in my heart of hearts. Ultima is as plus tier. Kiryukai's alright. Evangelion Unit 1 would be in the S tier this season if she fucking worked. She is somewhere like here in the B tier. Unit 1 is fine. Unit 1 is fine. Her piercing is really good. Her rush is good. She gets, when she's in the rush, she gets minus 30% damage dealt to her with the AT field, which is amazing. It is so good. She's completely immune to on-death explosions. Fourth Angel, Burning Godzilla, Zeton. She's immune. She does not get hurt by the on-death explosions. She would be the perfect counter to the current meta. No questions. Because she attacks like an idiot, she is not in anything higher than B tier. She has to run, stop, turn, prepare, then fire. Kills the unit. Gets ready to run. Run, stop. Looks. Readies up. Shoots. It's too much. It's the same thing that's happening with G21. But at least G21 attacks one unit at a time. Ava 1 can attack multiple units at a time because of the piercing, and she's immune to explosions, and she has the damage reduction. The retargeting on her is abysmal, and it's making her a bad unit. If they fixed the retargeting or eliminated the rush entirely and just had it at a perpetually... I think it should be perpetually 30% damage nerf when she's attacked, or 30% damage reduction forever. No rush. She would be perfect. She would be top of A. Perfect. But because she has the stupid rush and she has to retarget, it's miserable watching it, and it makes it so difficult to use her. B. I don't regret putting my GMATs into her first off. I put about 15 into her. Mine's level 18 or something like that. I love using her as a leader. I think she's a really, really good leader. I do not think right now on the field she's worth it. But if you want to use a 4-star leader, or you really like Evangelion and you want to use her as a leader, I highly recommend it. She's a very, very strong leader. Very good leader. Not such a good unit at the moment. I think with only the minor changes of fixing that rush in some capacity, she'll be good. Sachael, the 4th Angel. The Bay of Bays, the King of Kings, the creme de la creme, the Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour. S tier immediately. I think I'm gonna put him ahead of Burning. Fucking phenomenal monster unit, man. Sachael is a fucking machine on every level. This character puts in the work. Absolute fucking nonsense unit. Holy shit. You thought Burning Godzilla being an S with the explosion was good? Guess what? You have to charge Burning Godzilla's explosion. Sachael says fuck that and just explodes for straight up damage every time, no charge needed. Great on defense, great on offense, great in mid game, great on the leader. Crazy fucking unit. It doesn't even matter that he can't hit air zips out. He has a 3-second attack that hits like a fucking truck, and then when the air units kill him, guess what? He explodes and kills the air units. He's just a menace. Bro, he cannot be stopped. The Riz game is out of control on him. It's insane. It's insane right now. He is a phenomenal unit. I almost want to put him in S+ tier. It's insane. He's really good. And now a lot of players, even non-whales, are getting him into the 20+ and 30s. Could you say he explodes all over Mothra? Yeah. The 4th Angel, he explodes all over Mothra. There you go. I know, but if he can hit air with his normal attack, if Sachael could hit air units with his normal attack, he would be the best unit in the game. The Toho has forsaken us by making it so he cannot hit the air units. They're saving us that torment. You would be so sick of him if he could hit the air units. It would be crazy. He can hit air with the new mecha as leader. Yeah, you're right. If you use Mecha Godzilla 21 as a leader, you can hit him with the 4th Angel, and the 4th Angel will run through Batra like fucking paper, bro. Crazy. He can in the slideshow. Yeah, in his slideshow, he hits the air units. Mechagodzilla 21. Mechagodzilla 21 I put ahead of Kong last season. I feel like it's kind of like somewhere like right here. I think I'm going to put him like right here ahead of Kong again. Mechagodzilla 21. He's a high B with the right rush deck and distracted. He can get tons of missiles off and burn the enemy lead. Please at least make him high B. I don't think he's high B. I think he's just a mid B. I think if you're using him, I think there's better options in a rush deck than him. And if you're relying on him for damage, then you've already kind of lost. He's just like a better version of Kong. He's like Kong in every way that he hits, it's cool that he has the extra attacks and that he can hit air on accident with the final attack. But he's not really like super impactful. He's 6, if he was 5 costs maybe. He's 6 costs, which is already a little bit expensive. You say MG20 was better than G89. You know what? Just for the fact that he can hit air, I'll do this. I'll put him ahead of G21. I'll put him there. He can hit air on accident. And he has the other attacks that swap up his damage. He hits for 1,000 damage with his default attack, and the missiles do 1.1k damage. MG21 is a great melee unit, but gets countered by one of the worst units, Jaguar 73. Yeah. Well, he can hit air on accident. He has really good stats. He actually does have really good attack and really good damage. Don't get me wrong. It's just that when he's not hitting the air, he's going to get the fucking work put on him, and then he has only a brief window to hit the air. It's not entirely great. Yes, you're right, alternate universe. The Monsterverse units are continuously just disrespected. It's true. They're all kind of run-of-the-mill, is what it is. He's alright. He's not that great. If you want to use him in a rush deck, you can use him in a rush deck. I don't really recommend it. Finally, I'll check the GBL memes after. Finally, the man of the hour, GMK Godzilla. I will give you one guess on where this motherfucker is going this season. He is going in the S+ tier this season. Next season, he'll probably drop down to the S. GMK is fucking ridiculous. Is so dumb. This is on you. You, the community, did this to yourself. The monkey's paw has curled. For months and months and months, the Godzilla Battle.net community on every fucking social media platform has been asking for a Godzilla that is S+ tier, that is better than the rest. And you got what you asked for, and the monkey paw has curled, and you got GMK. He's so oppressive, it's not even fucking funny. He's rentable if you're in rank 66. He's rentable at level 12. He's insane. He does -10 attack boost on spawn that replaces Biolante's buff. He replaces Batra's buff, Space God's buff, any buff, G89 leader buff, Kong leader buff. He replaces it. And you know what happens when he dies? He replaces it again. He debuffs on spawn and on death. He has an insane range. For a unit of his caliber, he should not have that range. He has like a little bit better range than G54 or the same range. And then he has a AoE with the spread of Hedera's AoE, or just about. And then he has the stats of G54. And he can get evolved out of G54 and cost what? 4 energy to drop? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This was the monkey's paw. It curled. The community said, hey, I want an S+ Godzilla. I want Godzilla to be one of the best units in the game. And it wasn't the Godzilla you wanted, and it wasn't the effects that you wanted, and the monkey paw has curled. GMK is a fucking menace, and as long as he has the ability to remove the positive buffs, he will remain in the S tier. Maybe not S+ tier. S tier. As long as he can remove buffs, he's going to be good. As long as he has that AoE, he's going to be good. As long as he has the health that he has, he's going to be good. They would have to seriously gut him to make him worse. I think he's going to be sticking around for a long, long, long time. GMK Godzilla is fucking gnarly. He's really good. Everyone's using him now. And those of us that invested in him this season, I'm telling you guys right now, my GMK Godzilla, when this season ends, is going to be level 15. You think I'm not going to be using him next season when all of your GMK's Godzillas or most of the community's Godzillas are going to be lower level? The whales who have him in the 20s are most certainly going to be using him. He is a top premier pick. If you want to be a meta slave and you were wondering on what unit to invest your G materials in it, that's the one. This is it. Him and Batra and Leo are phenomenal, right? I wish all the GMK investors are very happy. Nerf. It's good. He has an on-spawn effect. He has an on-death effect. He has AoE. He has insane damage. He has insane range. He's just not immune to stun. It's awesome. He's an amazing unit. One of the best we've ever had on their launch. You know, we've had units that are amazing, not when they launch, but later on. GMK has been amazing from the jump. From the jump. Insane. Hopefully GMK Godzilla is still powerful kaiju when the season ends. Oh, he will be one of the best kaiju even after his season ends. A lot of people will not have him leveled up, and they won't be using him. Those of us who have invested in GMK this season will have a absolute field day using him against people. Right now, I'll say every other match I'm facing a GMK. Or maybe even every match I'm facing a GMK. Okay? Next season, when 90% of players no longer have access to a high-level GMK, the players who do have a high-level GMK are going to be running him like crazy. And they are going to be insanely dominant decks. The Bomb Squad was dominant without him in it. Now with him in it, it's ridiculous. GMK is going to slap all around. He's a really great unit. Well, that is amazing. We'll still use him next season. If you've invested in GMK, have fun in the open season next season. Whatever the rented unit is in March is going to have to be some kind of powerful to deal with all the GMKs that'll be running around. You who doesn't have GMK but wins with no problem. Yeah, listen, you can win. You guys can all win with GMK without him. Win with no problem, but you're going to have a way easier time winning if you do use him. I'll tell you that right now. But you guys, that is the tier list for Godzilla Battle Line. But the season 21 of February 2023. I am going to save this image and post it into my Discord's meta section and pin it if you want to view it there. I had a ton of fun putting this all together for you guys. I have a video scheduled to go live tomorrow morning that is talking about how I beat All-Star Battle Wave 90. This ASB, and providing no other important information comes out tomorrow, that'll be the only video tomorrow. And then stick around on a Monday. Whatever time is equal for you guys that the summit is going live, it goes live for me at 5 a.m. Eastern time. I am on the East Coast of the United States, so the summit goes live for me at 5 a.m. I will be live here on YouTube, where I normally am live. I will be live at 4:55, and I'll set that stream up tonight or tomorrow. I will be live at 4:55. We'll have 5 minutes of chatting before the stream starts, and then we will watch it from beginning to end together. And then that Sunday, after the stream ends, I will also have a video talking about the recaps of the stream. So that's all I got for you guys today. I'm very happy that everyone stuck around for such a successful stream, such a fun stream. I had a lot of great conversations in chat tonight, and I think we've got a lot of good done today here. I think this is probably one of the better tier lists we've ever done. I feel like I said that every time, but I think I mean it also every time as well. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.